More and more, we're living in a world that's fighting for our attention. Fighting to get us to consume content on our phones, computers, and TVs. We get notifications on our phones to get us to use apps that are programmed to keep us there. Video games have a reward system that keeps us coming back for more, and YouTube tailors videos to our interests to keep us watching. Everyone is fighting for our attention because our attention makes them money. And the more we watch, the more money they make. When we spend our time taking all of this in, it's called consumption. Consumption is the reception of information and media. What makes it even easier to consume all types of media is that consumption takes almost no effort. With a lot of consumption, you don't even have to think. You just keep swiping mindlessly until you find something that piques your interest. It is an instant gratification, which we are naturally programmed to love. Dopamine is released into our brains, and we keep coming back for more. Now you might be thinking, it's not too bad to watch a video or use social media every once in a while. And that's true, but too much consumption affects our mental health, physical health, and self-worth. I often find that I pick up my phone to do something specific, and 30 minutes later I realize I've been consuming mindlessly. I ask myself, how did I even get here? And I can't remember why I picked up my phone in the first place. Consuming does give you that dopamine hit that makes you feel good for a while, but ultimately, it is going to leave you feeling like you need more. Consuming creates a never-ending cycle of needing to consume more and more and more. It leaves you feeling empty in the end. And that's why you should spend more of your time creating. Creation is the action or process of bringing something into existence, putting something into the world. It has been shown to give us lasting satisfaction and happiness. Creation is fun, and it gives a sense of purpose and meaning to life. Yet, so many of us spend most of our time consuming. Since the events of 2020, media consumption has gone from about 3 hours a day to 7 hours a day. That comes out to 49 hours a week, 196 hours a month, and 2,352 hours a year. Can you imagine all the skills you could learn, all the art you could make, or all the things you could build if you put that time to good use? But we don't, because it's hard. We have created the bad habit of reaching for our phones every time we get slightly bored. It is not even a conscious thought at this point. That's how you know it's a habit. So in order to shift our lives from consumption to creation, we need to shift our habits. Now here's the thing about habits. 43% of what we do every day is done out of habit. It can take anywhere from 18 to 254 days for a person to form a new habit, and an average of 66 days for a new behavior to become automatic. So our habits of consumption are deeply embedded at this point. I'm not telling you this to make you feel bad about yourself. I'm telling you this to encourage you to be intentional with your time. You don't want to get to the end of your life and say, I watched 5,000 days worth of content. You'd be much more fulfilled to show the accomplishments that you achieved using your time. So here are some changes that I have made to help me break my own habits of consumption. First, be aware of how much you're consuming. Use screen time management apps to help you see your usage over the last day and week. You might be surprised at your usage. Also, keep track of how much time you've spent watching TV or watching media on your computer and other places. Keep track of all your media consumption. Second, make goals about your consumption. It's not realistic that you'll be able to create all the time. There will be times that you'll want or need to consume content. So you'll need to decide for yourself what a reasonable amount of consumption is. You need to have enough self-awareness to look at your consumption and make a decision on what is best for your physical and mental health. Also realize that not all content is created equal. Take, for example, educational consumption versus mind-numbing consumption. Number 3, set app use limits. You can use screen time management apps to set usage limits on apps so that you won't be able to use them anymore after a specified amount of time. So you can set a limit that you're gonna only be able to use Instagram for 5 minutes, Twitter for 5 minutes, or whatever you decide, but make sure that the total amount of time that you're allowing coincides with your goals. Number 4, use options other than a phone. If you pull out your phone, you're gonna wanna check your messages, your phone calls, check Twitter, check Instagram real quick, make sure that there's no messages or notifications, check your email, and the list goes on. The idea is to use tools other than your phone so that you're not picking up your phone and getting distracted. A couple examples are you could use an alarm clock instead of your phone so that you don't pick up your phone first thing in the morning and start engaging with content that way. Another example is to use pen and paper, which comes with a variety of different benefits as well. Interestingly, when you use a pen and paper, it is going to give you 4 times better idea generation and 13% better retention on the things you write down. So your goals, your lists, and your ideas will stay in your mind better than if you type it. Number 5, start creating. Just pick something that you like and start the creative process. Make goals and set aside time every day to work on the thing you're trying to create. And eventually you can start to create the habit of creating rather than consuming. Also, make sure to make creation as easy as possible. If your goal is to create music, make sure to leave your instrument somewhere where you're going to see it often. And anytime that you get bored, make the conscious decision to go pick up your instrument and start creating. Let creation become your new habit and leave behind consumption. I hope this video inspires you the way I've been inspired to create more and consume less, because I've already noticed a difference in my happiness, and I hope you can find that difference too. Take a break from consuming and actually create the life you want to live. Make sure to like this video and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.